Welcome to the Root Dog Show on the Two Life Stews Radio Network. I am your host, Rudy Reyes. For a full hour here today, be sure you tune in on Facebook Live. This is going to be fantastic. Brought to you by, well, me, myself, and I. No, I'm kidding. Actually, brought to you by Faleali'i Scouting. These guys are fantastic. Find them on Facebook. They are connected with me on the RootDogShow.com. So go to partners on the RootDogShow.com and check them out, especially if you're a young, up-and-coming talent and you want what you feel you need. Athlete Scouting can certainly do it for you. Look, lots of great sports conversation here on the Root Dog Show. I am your host, Rudy Reyes. I have your ear for an hour. If I give it back, you're fortunate. If I don't, well, that's just too bad. Today is certainly no different. We build up to the regular season in the NFL. With nothing but a vanilla preseason, we have many other football entities either starting or nearing its season's end. However, the beginning is a meaning to an end, or is it? Be sure to turn your attention away from all those naysayers, all the negative Nancy's, whatever acronym or statement you're used to hearing when you're growing up. But pay close attention to these young players, these young men, who especially want to be part of an organization, regardless of whether it's the CFL, NFL, the AFL Arena Football League, or an organization which may see more coverage than media would probably like to admit to. But there's a lot of competition in the football market with the aforementioned organizations. And nothing to take away from them. They do what they do, and they do it well. They've been doing it for a long time. But pay close attention to the World Developmental Football League, and this is why I say. It's been recently stated that AT&T Stadium will become the home of the 2017 WDFL Championship game. Yes, let me try that again, just in case you weren't listening the very first time around. The WDFL World Developmental Football League National Championship. And what this does is it pits the best in the West from never the least in the East with the WDFL. It's going to be appearing on a Monday night, again, at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas, or in Arlington, rather, after the Dallas Cowboys host the Kansas City Chiefs. This is something you need to pay close attention to. This is for all the marbles. All of them. Why would you not want to be a part of it? Why would you not want to be in it? If you're Emmett, you're in it. And of course, Emmett will not be in this game, but he has played with the Cowboys in the past, so put that together in whatever way you'd like. But the Vice President of Business Operations, Frank Shourds, yes, I said Shourds, S-H-O-U-R-D-S of the WDFL, has made an agreement to make this a first-of-its-kind event. Go to the WDFL.com for more information. There is a lot going on in the WDFL, and I am fortunate to be part of it. I'll be honest with you, as the voice of the Los Angeles Scorpions, as a color commentator and director of broadcast, it is my pleasure to be a part of the organization, to be there if the Scorpions are there, right? You're not going to see me without the team, other than what I do right here on the Root Dog Show on the Two Light Stews Radio Network for at least 56 minutes. But I'm more than familiar with the types of players and those players in those positions who need a legitimate shot of getting to where they want to be. And in all honesty, who doesn't want to play in the NFL? Who doesn't want to play in the CFL? Maybe even the AFL, if worst case scenario comes calling. However, the WDFL, unlike any other that has continually made a passion and its own number one mentality to put these players first. These are players that are either on the rise, who've acquired their degree in whatever academic discipline they chose to be in college, junior college, or a four-year university, to help these student athletes acquire what they need by being flexible with a very short season, by helping them get noticed, get recognized. I think that's the most important aspect above all else. But this is a week of interviews to not only help those young men of the Los Angeles Scorpions, but to let everybody know that, again, I will be the color commentator for the Scorpions this year at every home game, maybe away. I don't know, but California's a big place, so you never know. They'll be facing off August 26th against the, California Sharks. What do you know? But it will be local, so that'll be a home game opener for the Los Angeles Scorpions. But make sure you tune in to the Los Angeles Radio Network, because the Scorpion Radio Network is a network with a sting on every snap, sack, and touchdown this season right on Spreaker. So make sure you go to therudogshow.com and click on the broadcast link that will help you get to the show so you can tune in and listen to those fantastic plays, play-by-play. We'll be doing pre- and post-game coverage, analysis with Tony Cornish Jr. and myself, including player and coach interviews, and there's so much more to it. I can't even, it'd take me an hour just to tell you what it was all about, but I thought I'd open up in the show to give you that much information. Anyway, welcome to the Rude Dog Show. Look, speaking of players, I have a special treat for you as Los Angeles Scorpions' own Moak Faleali'i, offensive and defensive lineman who stands 6 feet 3.5, 370 pounds, and is 26 years old. Welcome, Moak, to the show. Hey, man, thank you for taking your time out to talk to me this afternoon. How are things going in your neck of the woods?
Well, thank you for inviting me. I just got done having a nice little lunch at an Asian buffet here with the family.
Well, that's good. We all have to eat, right? That's what it's about. When you work hard, you eat harder. Or wait, that is.
Oh, yes. Sir.
I'll say that may not work out too well when you work out hard and eat harder. I don't know. Or hardier. There you go, hardier. I think that's a word. I'll have to check out the dictionary for that one. But hey, thanks for taking your time out. Look, Moak, when we talk about American Samoa, which is where you came from, there's a lot of great Samoan players. Troy Polamalu obviously tops that list as one of the best of all time. A few other things come to mind. And being far out to sea isn't usually what it's cracked up to be. I mean, you're not stranded on a boat. You're actually on an island. It's called American Samoa. And if I was in a boat and I wanted to go somewhere, I think I could call Guinness and have them film me as paddling all the way to American Samoa. No, I'm kidding. I probably wouldn't last. I probably wouldn't last a couple boat trips, at least the one there. But look, this place falls into a high concentration of military presence and, of course, the obligatory Samoan occupancy. But many don't know that American Samoa isn't necessarily the most luxurious, as most men who have a hard time finding the equipment that they need while they're there, whether it's playing rugby or American-style football. And we're talking about Troy Polamalu, and he was there. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago he was there, and he joined forces and helped bringing a lot of new equipment, even some newly used equipment, to American Samoa. And I don't know if you were there at that time, but did you hear about that go on? I mean, what were your thoughts about seeing one of the greatest players in Steelers history showing up there giving support?
Well, I wasn't there, but it did come up a few times for social media, and a lot of the guys were asking what's going on or what's the reason, if there's something going on back home. But it was a very proud moment for a couple of Polynesian players to go back home and get into their community, especially from a small area like that. It's very, I wouldn't say prideful, but very humbling to just give back to your community. It's all we gotta do there as well as here in the States.
Well, you know what it's about, giving back to your community, because while you were there, you had partaken in giving back to youth in your area while you were there and living in Samoa. How fulfilling was it giving back to the young men there? And because, I mean, look, at one point you were there. What was your thoughts about being able to give back?
Well, I haven't been back home in a long time, but just to see the expressions on And highlights from the youth group, from the young adults and the kids that are from our island. And it was very humbling just to see their reaction, and it shows a lot of attention to the adults and support that are sponsoring for that organization that the Polynesians went to gather together some stuff for home. Because, a lot of kids nowadays are looking more towards an example, towards leadership. And that's what we need more of these days, is that kind of group.
I know it's fulfilling doing what I do, being able to give back to young men that are trying to get to the next level and recognizing the talent, the grind, the hard work. Look, student athletes or guys such as yourself try to find a way every single day to do something to benefit somebody else. And when I look at what you're trying to accomplish, along with every other player who is either part of an organization or is a free agent, did not get drafted in this last year's draft or even the year before that, find out what it's about, and very humbling of an experience in of itself, trying to find somewhere to call home. And that's where, that's the part of the separation. But let's talk about a variety of things. First of all, we're going to talk about football. Of course, that's one of the reasons why the Rude Dog show is here. Talk about football, talk about baseball and everything else. But let's because this is a Los Angeles Scorpions interview week. I certainly want to ask you a couple of questions in relation to football. Go figure. That's why we're here. But you started playing in the start of your junior year in high school, but you progressed relatively quickly. You were awarded as a two-time All-American, first-team honorable mention, two-team All-Conference, and you attended Jordan High School for 2 years of football, wearing number 72, Lakewood High School for 2 years, playing volleyball and football, and Los Angeles Harbor College, where you made your appearance, and again, wearing the number 72 and the 1 year at San Jacinto College, and then switched gears there, wearing number 95. You attempted at Rockford University, 2 years playing football with it, going back to your old number 72. But what was it about starting off your playing career in your junior year of high school? And did you make the determination at that point that's what you wanted to do? Or was it a secondary, because I noticed you played volleyball as well?
Honestly, it was an escape route. We tried to do a lot of my principals and the administration within the school district. We're trying to help the Polynesian environment get away from the violence that was going on back that day. So when I was introduced to football, a lot of the coaches, the principals, and the administrators were working along side by side with me and helping me to find a different way out, rather than just trying to focus on education or trying to find a stepping stone or a ground to a career. And, when you have that stepping stone to really, it's an achievement for most group of guys that from delinquent families, and, just those situations. So when I entered football, my senior year, I really wasn't looking forward to it. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. It is one of the things where I just didn't understand, I didn't get it, and transitioning from rugby to football, just a whole different level, a whole different game. Everything, the understanding of the sport, the unity, and things like that were light, but it was a lot more going towards football than rugby. So first, my senior year, I was learning the game. A lot of the guys, my brothers that helped me in Lakewood, helped me, pushed me to learn the sport. And when I finally got the hang of it, I just kept going. And then the education side came along with it. Integrated Rockford University as a student athlete was the greatest deal for some of the other Polynesians or like guys that these delinquent homes or violent areas. So it was an escaping route that became a great year setting.
Well, it's good to play, dual sports. I know there's a lot of student athletes I interview. They're either in track or they're involved in doing some yoga. Maybe they are swimmers by nature, but they also find a way to diversify and split that up to make football more of a priority by saying, well, all of these components have to do with cardio and stretching. Why not be able to put that into full motion by playing football, which is something that you enjoy doing, and it shows. When you look at student athletes, and this is the most interesting part about student athletes. I'm not a student athlete. I'm a student, but I'm not a student athlete. And I'm a little old. I'm a little old for athletics, at least, playing football. Like, I'm not going to date myself there, but I recognize that, because I'm a California native and sports is so prevalent out here. I've mentioned here on the show before, now we have 2 NFL teams, but I look at, you had found your way, you transitioned from American Samoa, which is, it's densely populated, to Long Beach, California, where there's a house on every corner, there's 5 or 6 people per house. It's a huge dynamic, something that you're familiar with, at least now. But you transitioned into understanding not only what rugby style football was about, but saying, you know what, I want to convert that over to American style football. Was that transition geographically a challenge for you, or did you feel you're still part of the American continental reach per se, but did you find a hard transition from American Samoa to Long Beach, California?
Oh, I can honestly tell you, Rudy, say I didn't learn how to speak fluent English until my freshman year of college. They use this term called a bob, or first off the boat. Learning the language itself was a hard transition, but overall, it's just a different ground. No matter what country you go to, it's the lesson Larry did is just a ground they into that's different.
I think transitioning to another area, since you had started learning English in your freshman year, and I'm not just talking regular English, I'm talking communicative, taking a course in communications. You clearly acquired your associates in psychology and majoring in business administration and a bachelor's in science for early childhood education. So that was a prerequisite for you to have a communications course, at least in that regard. Was it the same type of transition that you recognized as?
Well, definitely not. Definitely, it's a whole different style. When we work for a year within the States, it's a lot much different than how we are raised in the island. In the island, it's very, what we call towards year, what it relates to what we have back at home. Back home, everything is set forth for you. There's sometimes no way out of what your family has you going for. There's just one direction here within the States. And it's great to come here and you can search different opportunities within the United States.
I'll tell you, I'm a California. So for me to transition from anything, I wouldn't know. I've lived in other parts of the country, but I can't imagine being on an island now, United, in the world for that matter, but in California, because there's so many people. California is so big. I can see that there's some type of transition. But let's start with the football aspect, because you were used to playing rugby. It's kind of big there. It's physical. You don't really bump heads. It's more of a physical, avoiding head contact as much as possible. You get your incidental head contacts, and I've seen rugby playing. It's no walk in the park, I'll tell you that much. And when I look at rugby and I look at the NFL or football in general, I think to myself, is this even possible? Or are we missing the boat here? Speaking of, you're talking about fresh off the boat, are we missing the boat? Are we really thinking that rugby is the heir apparent to what football could turn into, or is football its own sport altogether based on what you know?
Well, honestly,
how did that work?
well, I wouldn't necessarily say one or the other is better. They both fit into the same group. It's just a different in the skill level. It's a lot slower pace when it comes to football than it does with rugby. Rugby is nonstop. It's always, constantly, it's like soccer. Constantly going, constantly running. When it came to transitioning from rugby to football, I didn't understand what a huddle was. I didn't understand what a pause or a timeout. It was a whole different. There's a lot of different terminology that has to be used to learn the game of football.
But was it hard though? I mean, did you find certain aspects of the game of rugby maybe being completely opposite of what football was about from tackling? Or, what kind of differences were there? And was there a steep learning curve in learning football over rugby?
Well, one thing is different is that you can pass forward in football. And when it came to tackling, technique was slower. When it came to the man-to-man of different numbers on the field, different style of plays, different rules, and different regulations. The hardest part from rugby to football for me was trying to understand the rules, because in rugby it's just hardcore man-to-man, no protection. When it came to football, that the referees that I was up on my end with my shot sometimes, they would tell me to give penalty flag comes for you, that it becomes hard to don't really understand the whole aspect of in general, because it's like different major for schools. Transition from this to choosing it's different at a way. I have own group that's own everything.
Well, I'll tell you, I've seen rugby played, and it's not something I want to get involved in. I'll tell you that right now. It's just, it looks a little too brutal for me. I don't want to get hit and smacked. I don't even have any pads on. How am I going to protect myself? You gotta look at these things. I'm an old man. I can't do this. No, I am totally joking. I'm totally kidding. About the whole age thing. But anyway, let's talk about a little bit more about you personally, because I recognize that a personal discipline covers and can encompass a variety of other disciplines, meaning that you have volleyball, you had played in football, rugby. It is a sport. At least that's what I hear, that volleyball is a sport. But it takes an academic discipline as well as it does a sports discipline, and having to merge those two can be a very difficult task. But you decided to further yourself even more. Most people that are, I don't really hear a whole lot about people who have degrees or trying to get to the next level professionally. There isn't a lot of guys. It reminds me of Jason Faleali'i, who's also Samoan. I had the pleasure of talking to him and interviewing him, and he was cut by the Steelers, unfortunately, but he also came from the very same area. And I think to myself, what type of separation do you separate yourself from everybody else? So what do you do that separates you from other people understanding sports and having the academic discipline working together for you?
Well, I mean, to be honest, it's too many factors. When I came here, I looked at it as a behind what opportunities, what opportunities behind, and that was just my perspective on how I was battling out things. I mean, there's always there anybody else, and then what I personally and what somebody else has. You know, you can take athletes that occur from as a part of process, but at the end of the day, somebody else has the first. There's always patient going. There's equally. It's just keep thinking positive and always trying to make sure it's always right. I don't. And the one thing that my heart is when I see others that they can learn that it's doing everything. So in reality, the group that's waiting for just to that's my people find themselves alone and away from that need for help. But the mentality is the number one thing that has to be there. You don't have that mentality, then there's something you have to try to push yourself and drive the whole family. You know, I see a lot of groups of guys and myself that I play for with been called. They're wonderful guys, no matter set they're just willing to sacrifice not only for themselves but for them. And if that means keep pushing, keep going, and not being to basically stop at the life. And then you should be fine. It's a difficult part. It's just it's how you go about it.
There's a quote, and for some reason Muhammad Ali was something that you feel very strongly with because he was the underdog in a lot of respects. He wasn't treated fairly in a lot of respects. He was jailed, things of that nature. But you'd stated that he hated every minute of his training, but he said to not quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. How does that work with what you're trying to accomplish in your own life, whether it be professional, personal, or both?
Sacrifice. Make every sacrifice count. Make every sacrifice count. There's always something that's going to be better tomorrow than it is today. There's a great quote in the Arab War that Sun Tzu.
Okay.
Can be achieved with a small force. No matter how things can be, no matter how things look, you're going to never quit. That's all it is.
Well, it sounds like you're onto something. I think that Muhammad Ali would be proud that you used his quote to really learn from, to emanate, to be like. And if everybody does not know, or for those that do not know, rather, check out Moak Faleali'i Brown. He is going to be on that Los Angeles Scorpions team held at the LA Harbor College. Make sure you go to the RudDogShow.com/World Developmental Football League. Click on the Los Angeles Scorpions link. That will give you all the information to the show. I will be the color commentator as well as being the director of broadcast for the Los Angeles Scorpions. Hey, thank you so much, Mook. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Rudy, for having me. It was an honor.
Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the field.
Yes, sir, indeed.
All right. You take care. I hope so. We'll talk later. Have a great day.
Okay, you too.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it, man. All right, bye-bye. You're welcoming a new caller, and I usually jump over real quickly, don't I? It's just like the hop, skip, and a jump thing. But another gentleman who's looking for a home right now, especially in the NFL. He does have the talent. He does have the skill set. Running into his own issues, like everybody else has. I mean, there's not one person on this planet that is not dealing with some type of issues personally that has affected them in a variety of ways. Welcome to the show, Troy Culpepper Jr. Troy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for taking your time out to join me this afternoon on the Root Dog Show.
My pleasure, man.
When we talk about growing up, I have my own background story, not the best in the world, but who does? But you grew up relatively in the neighborhood. You're one of the neighborhood kids. Somebody had a conversation, and they said, hey, where's that little Troy boy? You were just part of the neighborhood, and you're a neighborhood kid. But you started, again, another junior year in high school, just like my former guest, and you felt that there was some talent brewing. You weren't quite sure how to go about expressing it or showing it or putting it on display for everybody to see. You wanted to play running back, but you also wanted to play quarterback as well. I think both of those positions would have fit you and still could fit you to this day. What was it about the coaches not giving you the opportunity to not play in the quarterback position? And did you feel it was a slap in the face? Now you have to play with a chip on your shoulder. What was that like?
Well, like I was saying, growing up, it was more so a neighborhood guy. Our neighborhood guys, and I used to play running back. I played some quarterback. It'd be like all-time quarterback. I was just athletic, and growing up, when I got the red ball in middle school, it was always either the coach's son played on the team for some reason, or the coach didn't trust me to play quarterback because I didn't actually have the experience, but I have the arm and everything else to go with as far as playing quarterback. And as far as running back, I mean, growing up in the South, it's like coaches watch the young boys grow up from rec ball to middle school, so they kind of have a feel for who they want to play, which position. So I was one of the kids who didn't have, because I was moving all the time, I was always one of the kids that didn't have, I need to play that position, so I had to get in where I fit in actually, so.
I never got a chance to play quarterback either. And I was never playing football, then maybe flag football when I was a kid. I'll be honest with you, I was good, but I wasn't great. Maybe I missed my calling there, but I don't know. Playing running back or even a linebacker position wasn't something that you felt you wanted to do. You wanted the quarterback position, but you felt as though just to be part of the organization, just to be put in the lineup, just to be considered on the roster, being a running back or a linebacker was where you wanted to be. But that's not where your mom wanted you. She wanted to yank you off the field, and you felt as though, what are you doing? Why are you driving? You may as well be pulling me by my ear, dragging me off of the field. What was it about that experience? Why did your mom want to pull you off the field to begin with? Was she feeling you weren't ready? Was she afraid for your welfare on the field? What was it?
Honestly, I don't even have an answer to that because my mother wasn't. As far as me growing up, I had a lot of siblings, so I guess my mother grew me to try to keep her boys around her or around the house or whatnot, but we kind of all went our separate ways, and my relationship with my mom got worse over time because I was more so trying to do something that she wanted to do. So playing football, I just do the love because that's where I had more of my good time outside playing football on the field, or as far as being a part of the organization. And football was one of the sports growing up that kept me away from home. I really didn't feel like home was my happy place, so I would stay after school just to be away from home. So football was one of my places that I grew to not just to be angry all the time. I wanted to be happy and enjoy what I was doing, enjoy life, and that was my happy place. Being able to play football, whether it was just in the neighborhood or.
So,
school or something like that.
right. So the football field was your home. I mean, essentially, that's where you wanted to be. That's where you felt that you belonged. There was a unity. There was a family-esque type aura surrounding the coaches, the coaching staff, everybody on the team, essentially. But you decided for some reason, somehow, some way. Of course, there are reasons for everything. But you didn't play football consistently until you got to middle school. Was it about teachers? I mean, who influenced you? You always wanted to play, yes, but who influenced you to start playing football again? And how do you feel as though that helped you benefit further on?
Well, growing up, I grew up some in Hawkinsville, Georgia, and if you know it's professional football named Charles Johnson. He played defensive end for the Carolina Panthers. And he stayed he stayed all in the same neighborhood. Obviously, he was older than us. He was in high school, and we were all oriented in the neighborhood, and he was one of the older kids in the neighborhood. And his name was, I called him, or everybody in the neighborhood called him Pee-wee. Everybody else known by Charles Johnson. And he was a big name in the neighborhood, and he used to play high school football, and I always wanted to play for the Hawkinsville Red Devils. That was where he played at. So after he played, he went to the University of Georgia, and after that, he got drafted and went to the Carolina Panthers, obviously in the third round. And that inspired me that somebody that I actually knew, somebody from the neighborhood that I was growing up in, could make it. So me growing to love football, I always felt that this is my way out, and this is my way to be happy. And I know it happened because Pee-wee did, or Charles did. So he kind of inspired me in a way he probably don't know it, but he kind of inspired me in a way to just keep doing what I want to do, because I knew him as a person before he became the player, and I knew his family and how they lived and how we lived and how everybody around us lived. We didn't grow wealthy and everything. We all wanted the same thing. We always wanted the same goal, and we all did play football together. So he kind of inspired me to just keep going and don't give up and all that. So that was kind of my inspiration.
I think it had a lot to do with who you aspired to be as well. Somebody in the NFL, somebody who was drafted into the NFL, and you can play with a chip on your shoulder, you can live life with a chip on your shoulder, but the only way that chip will ever leave your shoulder is when you accomplish your goal, when you get to where you want to be. And that is the NFL, even still to this day. If you play with a chip on your shoulder, eventually someone's going to recognize, someone's going to watch, a scout's going to be out there, he's going to be making his notes, or she'll be making her notes, and saying, you know what, this guy's solid. He won 2 state titles under Conrad Nixon, Northside High School. He went to Columbia High School, junior and senior year. Switched, flip-flopped, went to the defensive system, became a DB, and you didn't feel as though those offers came through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, shuffling right after the other. What was it about not receiving those offers? Was that more fuel to add to your fire?
Yeah, I really felt like my senior year, I felt like I had a solid season. The college scouts coming to the school, it was speaking to everybody. The kid just involved my path the right way. I know at one point I had big looks from the Southern Miss and Fort University, Jackson State, but after a while the coaches kind of fell back and didn't speak to me no more. It was more so waiting for kids to not sign with them, then they come back and sign with me. And it was more so I was the first person in my household to get a scholarship or being able to go to college. So I was more so forced to sign because my mother really wanted me to sign on signing day, not knowing how everything works. I didn't know about junior college stuff, my sophomore season, and a lot. It was just a lot going on, and me being the person I am, I just moved too fast, not thinking, and just took advantage of the first opportunity I got. being that I signed with Culpepper University, HBCU, didn't know too much about it. Actually, growing up in Atlanta with my grandmother, I didn't know that Culpepper actually existed. I thought it was just a make-believe school from the Nick Cannon movie, Drumline. So.
Well, I bet it felt good to know that it was a real legitimate university then. If that's how you felt. And it is. It definitely is a very good university. But you played there in your freshman year, but not really nodded. Nobody really tapped on your shoulder and said, "Hey, Troy, go in." You're always wandering around the coach, saying, "Are you going to put me in?" It's almost the whole "put me in, coach. Come on, put me in." It's a Rudy Reyes type of story, where he says, "Just one play," because you believe that once that one play existed, able to break a tackle, force an interception, a fumble, picking one up, taking it to the house, was something that you felt you could do, but was always looked over instead of being able to execute what you knew, what you felt you could perform at and the level you can perform at. And here you are, a free agent, and there was something about the lack of guidance. Tell me a little bit about that, because you felt as though one time or throughout your tenure at Clark Atlanta University or headed in basically any other university that somehow you weren't being led properly, that you were almost being led astray.
Yeah, as far as guys, like I have my dad to guide me in a way, and I never had anybody in my family other than my older cousin Michael. I didn't really know the path it takes to get to college or to what obstacles I will run into when it comes to transferring and credits and all this and that, SAT, ACT. I didn't know anything about any of this, so I was kind of late learning, and I had to learn most of my things about the transfer situation. I had to learn all that, like, literally by mistake. Like, if I made a mistake, I'd be like, "Oh, that would be the reason I can't do that, because it cost me a year of football." And when I was doing things, I was doing it off the strength of just me, my knowledge. And my knowledge wasn't no more than a 7-year-old kid about college and transferring things, because I would just look at the picture of, like, I'm going to school, I'm going to college and playing football, but I wasn't thinking about education. I wasn't thinking about what I'm going to do after, all I was thinking, like, I'm just going to school to play football. I didn't have an outlook on how to go about things, how to study when it's time to study, how to practice when it's time to practice, or how to film study when it's time to film study. It was more so I can have fun, I can do this, I don't have to worry about this. Football will come, because football was a natural thing that came to you, but at the same time, there's more people working out, and as far as me working out, I wouldn't work out. So the guys wasn't there. As far as the coaches was more so politicians. And that's when I learned about politics. Politics was more so of a heavy factor in college than it was in high school. If you was a high school favorite, you would play. In college, you could be better, you could be a favorite, but politics play a role in.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. But those politics don't stop at the collegiate level. Those politics head on to the NFL level as well. That's just the way it is. I mean, so many times I've interviewed players. I've interviewed tons of them. You can go back in the archives on the RootDogShow.com. I've interviewed guys like Rod Woodson, who was a Hall of Famer. I've interviewed guys who never made it to their tryout and eventually died on his way to his tryout. So I've had both ends of the spectrum, but one thing that is a constant is the amount of politics associated with both organizations, both the NCAA, both the NFL. That's just the way it is. It is a truth. It's a tough truth. It's an ugly truth, but it's a truth nonetheless. But when you started after your redshirt season, and you sat out because of the direction you weren't sure you were going to head it. But you attended Georgia State in the spring semester, and you were going to play football, but the timing was relatively not so good. So you ended up not playing that semester as well. But not being able to play football was bad. I mean, you felt as though the world was crashing all over you. What helped you get out of that funk to be able to recognize that it's not the end of the world?
Well, I met a girl. And she kind of like tried to guide me in the right direction, but being that she grew up not an sports athlete, she didn't quite understand what it took, but she kind of tried to guide me in ways so like other things to something to see if I was interested in other things, but after a while she really found out that I wasn't really interested in nothing but football because that's all I knew. Football was my happy place. Football was do this for me, and that's how I wanted to live, and I always built my life and planned my life ahead of time, and football was always there. Whether than sports, athletic trainer, or a coach or anything like that, it was always there. But she actually got her and my grandmother, because my grandmother is a key part in my life. She always keeps me motivated. If I need something, she helps out. If I'm going through something as far as not working out, being depressed about not being signed or anything like that, she gets me up and tells me, hey, go work out, go do this, go do that. Find something to do. You can't sit around the house. And my girlfriend was always one of those, how do you say, I don't know, it was my girlfriend and my grandmother played a big part of me just being able to keep my mind clear and get back into school and have an effect on me and how I play football, and then wanting them to see me succeed made me happy. So that inspired me to just keep going, just having somebody to.
I think what's even more impressive, what's more impressive about this situation is that you recognize that football and academics work hand in hand. You have to have both. You can't have one without the other. So despite what other people wanted you to do, you had the support. Your grandmother was a key cog in your life, trying to get you off of your keister, kicking you off the couch, even though that's where you slept, but still giving you the support, giving you the backbone to apply to your own life, to say, you know what, I need to make a change. I have to understand that football is not all there is to it. There is life outside of football, but if that is your way to get to where you want to be, to become the success, just like your Carolina Panthers neighborhood friend who was there who ended up playing for Carolina, you put those two together. You recognize those two work in conjunction. When you recognized, did you feel as though it was too late, or was there another awakening to put this all together to go the direction that you felt you wanted to go to?
In the beginning, I felt like it was too late, being that I sat out and transfers and things like that, but being that I was so motivated to just get it back in school and just wanted to play football, I just knew what I had to do to get there, and I really wanted to play, so I really wanted to be a part of something, and I really still had this dream and goal to make it to the next level, so I just took it upon myself to start applying back to the schools and see what schools I could attend in the fall and get there, so when I do get there, I can just make the best of it.
Making the best of it is something that you recognize that it was a time to wake up. I mean, despite those types of things, despite somebody not leaving you at some point in your own life, and everybody comes to the realization, every young man and woman recognizes at some point that they're not going to get the type of recognition. You have to fight to get that. They don't have the foundational components they're going to need to make the better decisions, to make the best decisions possible, because they don't have those individuals. And at some point, we all have to recognize that, you know what, that may not be the case. That's somebody or someone may not be there to give us that. So we have to take it upon ourselves, create the initiative and take action, because action overcomes lack of reaction. In other words, when you create the action, there is no negative reaction. It's all positive because of what you put into it. You put whatever euphemism you want together with that, but then something else decided to jump in your way. You traveled all the way from Atlanta, Georgia to Omaha, Nebraska to play for the Omaha Beef. I did not know that the team's name was Beef, but Omaha Beef, I'm sure beef, they have good beef in Omaha, but they wanted to let you know they were interested in having you come to camp. So you went to camp, you drove there. What was it like in that opportunity, and what was it like being cut almost as soon as you got there?
The opportunity was great. It was great feeling on that I had another chance to play football and sign a professional contract. That was something I always wanted to do, even though I had an idea about indoor football. I still felt the need that indoor football is a way to get myself back out there and get the recognition I wanted. So when I got there, went through camp. I think I had an amazing camp, other than probably like a couple of mishaps. Being that I was new to the game and not knowing, I had a great preseason game. And the coaches, I guess the coaches just felt that it was more experienced guys that they wanted to pick on me instead. So being cut, the feeling of being cut, it was just one of those. I put it salt on open wounds. So I took it as if it didn't really bother me until I was driving back to Georgia, and that it's all over again from back where I started. So it was one of those things like, dang, I worked hard, I did all this just to come up here and not get a fair shot. So, I mean, it happens. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it don't work out in your favor. But if you stay confident and be patient and wait until hopefully another one will come, and another one came.
It did. It did. Matter of fact, you were called to play with the Myrtle Beach Sharks, but it wasn't a good situation for you. It was a one-game fault for the organization. How did that happen?
The coach, I guess the coach had a situation that he had to work out with the owner of the team. They actually they were signed to GDI with the developmental league, and I was under the impression that it was an indoor football league. And when I got there, the coach was telling me it was an indoor football league, but the Facebook page, it was the developmental football league. I mean, there were semi-pro league, I guess, and nobody actually had like a sense of what was really going on, and the coach would never give us input. He was always hiding things, and after the first game, being that it was in Vermont, we drove on the bus away. We got there, played the game, didn't get paid. We didn't get paid after the game, so we thought it was the management's fault, but being that we love football so much, we had it roll up our shoulders, and we were told we was going to have games after that. And every time the game week came, it was more so, it's the team canceled, we're not going to have a game, so we'll be staying there. Then all of a sudden, we all in a predicament. A lot of great football players in the same position in order to be moved on in a predicament where we basically almost had to start paying rent for the place that we moved at. It was a hotel.
Sounds like a sad situation. I couldn't imagine. And unfortunately, there are those leagues where they say, well, you pay us X amount of dollars, you can come in to play. Look, if they're making you pay them to enter, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You're not going to get anything out of it. And if you do, every single game, it just doesn't make sense to play for a league where you have to pay to play. I understand that's how it works in broadcast, in the broadcast industry, but that's not how it should work in football. In any startup football, it's just not going to happen. So that folded. And then you went on to play for the Temple, Texas, Centex Calvary. You played in 4 games, and you believed at some point, with all the feedback you were getting, that you were improving. Your game was improving, your motion was improving, your footwork was getting even better. What is your point to NFL teams right now, and why should they pick you to be on their roster? I think we may have lost you on that one. Give me one moment. We don't have much time left here on the show. I apologize about that. Just stand by for me. All right. Are you back with me? If an NFL team was to call you right now and say, Troy, you may not be related to Dante Culpepper, but you are Troy Culpepper. If they asked you to come on their roster, but they wanted you to give them reasons as to why you belong on the roster, why do you belong on that roster?
Because why not? Why not? I've been working hard, just like everybody else been out there working hard. I have the ability to do whatever. I'm coachable. Very well mature. I'm very well appreciated. If they give me the opportunity, I take advantage of every opportunity they give me. It's something they can build on. I'm not no strong guy who doesn't have potential. I have potential. If they put me in the right place, any place, I'll make plays. I can also go on now, so that'll be a plus in the attributes. If they need me to move quarterback, I feel like now I can still play quarterback. I'm a film guy. I can learn any book. I'm a quick learner. Why not me? I'm 6'3" trips back. Why not me?
Sounds like good enough reason to me. Look, NFL teams, I know you guys are losing players. They're dropping like flies there. Look, you should really take a look at Troy Culpepper Jr. You really should. Listen to the audio. The guy's a character player. He has a great personality, great football acumen. He's well-traveled. In other words, when you go from system to system, he understands that there's diversity involved in getting him to where he wants to be. And if that incorporates something new he has to learn, he's adept. He's ready to go. He's ready to learn it. So give Troy Culpepper Jr. an opportunity, a phone call. You can find him. He found me. I'm on LinkedIn. He's on LinkedIn as well. And I just want to thank you so much for your time, Troy. I wish you the absolute best. This will be posted on the RudolphShow.com. Hopefully everybody will get a chance to listen to it, enjoy it. And again, NFL teams, you're losing players. I know you have third stringers. Why not give Troy Culpepper Jr. an opportunity to come on our team to show what he can do? So thank you so much, Troy. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem at all. You're very welcome. Absolutely. If there's anything else I can do for you, please let me know. I'll be happy to do just that.
Yes, sir. I keep in contact with you. Thank you.
Sounds good.
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Whatever I can do to help. That's why I'm here.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. You too. Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Troy Culpepper Jr. I think he could be a stud in the NFL. It's whether or not he gets the opportunity to do it, and it's a tough league, it's a tough industry, it's a tough gig to be in. But if you can persevere, work hard, you can get anywhere you want to go. There's no doubt about it. And then thank you to Troy Culpepper. Anyway, my time is up here, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rudy Reyes on the Rude Dog Show. This will be posted along with the video on the RudeDogShow.com. Come check it out. Throw me a follow at Rude Dog Reyes on Twitter. Go to my Facebook fan page and throw me a follow as well. If you enjoy what I do, the presentation, the type of content, everything I have is really based on how I want to deliver. And if it's to help somebody else, that's what I'm going to do. This is Rudy Reyes of the Two Live Stews Radio Network. I'll see you guys tomorrow.